Hi, I'm Ed.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are about ready to head off on another military Space A adventure.
We are approaching this trip like we did last October when we went to Vietnam, and we have absolutely no plan.
We want to go to the Philippines and Indonesia, but we will see where this adventure takes us.
Because we're flying Space A, we haven't booked any flights or lodging in Asia yet.
We're actually going to drive down to California and fly out of Travis Air Force Base, since I've been meaning to meet with family to plan a family reunion for next summer.
So the next time you see us, who knows where we'll be.
While in the Army for 35 years, Eddie traveled the world, meeting so many interesting people and experiencing different cultures, but only where the military told him to go. Fortunately, during our 25 years of marriage, a few of his assignments gave us the opportunity to visit some pretty amazing places too. So come join us on this adventure of a lifetime as the La Rosas jump around the world. We started this trip by leaving our home in Spokane, Washington, and taking our son back to college after the winter break. We continued on to Kennewick, Washington, where we grew up, and visited Eddie's mom for a late Christmas gift exchange, and spent the night with my parents. The next day, we got on the road early, and after we crossed into Oregon, we enjoyed the scenery of the Columbia River. We got to our resort in Bend, Oregon, in plenty of time to cozy up to the fire in the bar and watch the College Football National Championship. We even checked out a bunch of locals playing hockey on the resort's ice rink. Overnight, we received massive snow and there was a continued blizzard warning, so we had to stay in Bend an extra night. Because of that, we did what any rational person would do: head to the outdoor pool and hot tub.
We're leaving Bend. The blizzard is over. It is a beautiful sunny day, and we are just crossing our fingers that it stays like this because there's still a winter storm warning on our way to California. So we had nice, relaxing days in Bend since we were pretty much stuck in our room, and heading to California.
As soon as we got into California, the weather magically turned sunny. It was a long day of driving, but it was all worth it when we stopped at an In-N-Out Burger for some comfort food. For the next 4 nights, we stayed at another one of our resorts in Angels Camp, which is the site of an old mining town. It's also known for the annual frog joke competitions since 1928 that were made famous by Mark Twain's story, The Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. In addition to meeting with family members in Stockton, I convinced Eddie to play pickleball since we had so much time on our hands. On our final full day in Angels Camp, a Space A flight popped up for Hawaii. Although we needed to get to either Japan or Korea, we live by the pop and smoke strategy of catch the first thing smokin'. After arriving super early in the morning, it was obvious that we were going to get on this flight since there was no one in the passenger terminal. After tickets were in hand and luggage checked, we had time to go to a nearby dining facility to enjoy some good Air Force chow before parking our car in the short-term parking lot where we could leave our van for 30 days. On this trip, we flew on a huge C-5 aircraft. We had plenty of space to spread out and relax. We were met in Hawaii at Hickam Air Force Base by my best friend Carly and her husband Chris. It turned out that we stayed with them for an entire week after being stuck in Hawaii due to no flights heading to Japan or Korea. We were stationed in Hawaii 3 different times, so we took advantage of that week hitting up some of our favorites. We met with friends and family, and we also revisited some of our favorite beaches. We also found time to do a little exercising. We went to the gym, I forced Eddie to play some more pickleball, and I even climbed Coco Head with Carly. A trip to Hawaii is never complete without hitting some of our best-loved food establishments. We finished off the week at a University of Hawaii Wahine basketball game. Eddie wanted to watch the daughter of his middle school friend who was playing, and her dad happened to be there that night all the way from Washington State. They hadn't seen each other in 40 years. After 7 days in Hawaii, a flight finally popped up and we were headed to Okinawa, Japan on a C-17 aircraft. We didn't have typical airline seats, but we've learned to come prepared to set up camp on the floor along with every other person flying with us. For $6 you can buy a box lunch filled with sandwiches, chips, drinks, and snacks. Upon arrival in Okinawa, one of Eddie's army buddies picked us up and let us stay with him at his home. The view from his condo was terrible, as you can see. He was such a great host and even served us coffee in bed. While Ron was at work, we explored the local town looking for lunch. These statues were on pillars in front of every home. They are called shisha, and they are believed to protect the homes and keep bad luck away. We grabbed some grub at a local mini market and happened across an amazing bakery as well. When Ron got home from work, he played tour guide showing us the local area. He showed us the coastline, lighthouse, and castle ruins. Can you believe they had record-breaking cold temps during our visit? It was freezing and raining. Later that night, we met up with friends we were stationed with in Stuttgart, Germany. They took us to one of their favorite places to eat. It took us a hot minute to figure out this ordering system, but the food was well worth it. The next morning, Ron dropped us off at the airport where we caught a commercial flight to Bali. On our way to Bali, we had a long layover in Singapore. Holy cow, this Singapore airport is like a city. It has amazing art and interactive displays and tons of shops and eateries. Unfortunately, our flight kept getting delayed, so our layover turned into 6 hours. So we took the shuttle to another terminal to catch a movie in the airport theater. There is so much to see and do that the time flew by super fast. After landing in Bali at 1 a.m., our driver met us and drove us to our villa. We enjoyed many hours of relaxation over the next 9 days, 2 days at the villa in Sanur, and another 7 days at a different resort in Candidasa. As much as we enjoyed relaxing in the sun, Eddie and I made sure we did our share of exploring. If you want to see the details of our trip, click the link in the video description. A trip to Southeast Asia would not be complete without eating and drinking our way across the island. The next morning, we were on our way to Manila.
All right, this is important information for anyone flying Space A. If you are flying into the Philippines, you do need an onward ticket. And when we checked into our flight, she asked if we had an onward ticket from Manila, because that's where we're going today. And I wasn't sure if we needed one or not. I've read conflicting reviews, but you need one. So check out this website called onwardticket.com. And what you do is you basically rent a ticket. So they charge you $16. You put in your information, where you're flying to and from out of the country, and then they get you a ticket. And it's just like, it'll go away in 24 hours. It doesn't cost you anything besides the $16 a person, but it gives you an actual ticket confirmation, and it went through in like a minute, and I showed the gal, and we were on our way. So onwardticket.com.
We left Spokane 30 days ago with the sole purpose of coming to the Philippines, and we are finally here.
A month later, we made it.
After a quick night, 2 of Eddie's cousins picked us up super early to make our way to the village of Moreno, where his family originated from. We visited some of his family members for the first time, and he continued his genealogy research. The Filipinos loved to feed us. In the short 2 days we were there, we ate so much food. We needed to take a bus back to Manila, and thankfully Eddie's cousin guided us. There's no way we would have known to catch it at this little spot on the side of the road. With only a couple of days in Manila, we were able to meet our nephew's friend, and we got in a little sightseeing as well. We flew commercial to Japan, which had the most military space-safe flight options back to the US.
All right, we just flew into Okinawa, and we were told by the lodge here when we made our reservation that we needed to get a taxi that could go on base. And so we thought we were in the right line, but then they directed us to another line, and ours doesn't say that it has on base access, but then they said we could get another one at the gate. So we'll let you know if we make it.
And this whole time there was no English being spoken, so who knows where we're going.
Obviously we made it to the hotel, so our taxi took us to the gate. So we got dropped off right at the visitor center at the Kadena gate number 2, and Eddie went inside there and they were able to call us another taxi that came in like 3 minutes. So from the airport to the Kadena gate, it was $60 on the taxi, and then the one from the gate to the Navy Lodge, the Gateway Inn, was about $7. So
I just kept on telling myself it was going to be like $100, so 60 is a lot, but
then you'll be happy if it's less than 100. So it's not cheap, but that's pretty much the only option. At least you got us
to the right gate, because there's multiple gates. So
yeah, you want to go to gate number 2.
Yeah.
So then we were tracking that there were no flights tomorrow for where we need to go, and that there was one on Saturday, and so we were just getting ready to turn off the light, and I decided to check their schedule one more time, and lo and behold, there's a flight tomorrow morning at 6:45 to Travis. So we are going to go to sleep and set our alarm, and hopefully that flight will still be on in the morning, and then see what happens.
We arrived for roll call, and it was clear we'd have no problem getting a seat on the flight. After getting our tickets, we had to take a taxi off base to the immigration office to get an exit stamp on our passports. We're on the plane with lots of space to spread out and headed back to California. Once we got back to California, we were able to meet with a military friend we hadn't seen in 13 years. Over the next week, we got to visit lots of family and continued planning for the family reunion. It was another successful Space-A trip, and after 6 weeks of travel and a 14-hour drive home, this adventure is complete. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to follow all of our adventures.